Ever wondered why owning a home in California seems like a distant dream for many? The Golden State, known for its sun-kissed beaches and star-studded cities, is now gaining notoriety for its soaring real estate prices. The cost of homeownership in California has escalated at a rate that far outpaces the national average, putting the American dream out of reach for a large swath of the population. Reports from reputable news sources paint a grim picture of the current state of affairs. A glance at the headlines reveals the harsh reality. Homeownership in California is becoming an elusive dream for the average American. The surge in homeownership costs is not a sudden phenomenon, but the culmination of a range of factors. One key driver of these skyrocketing prices is the classic economic principle of supply and demand. California, with its idyllic climate and booming economy, continues to attract individuals and families from across the nation and around the world. Yet, the supply of homes fails to keep up with this high demand, leading to a surge in prices. Adding fuel to the fire is the rising cost of building materials. The price tags on everything from lumber to steel have seen significant increases, which directly impact the cost of constructing new homes. As a result, builders are either passing these costs on to buyers or halting projects entirely, further exacerbating the housing shortage. And let's not forget about the state's strict zoning laws. These regulations, although well-intentioned, often limit where and how much housing can be built. This restriction on development contributes to the supply-demand imbalance, pushing prices upward. In the face of these challenges, the dream of owning a home in California is becoming increasingly elusive. For many, the prospect of being a homeowner in the Golden State appears more like a mirage rather than a reachable goal. In the midst of this housing crisis, the question arises, is the California dream still attainable for the average citizen? Indeed, the California dream seems to be fading away for many potential homeowners. And now, let's delve deeper into how this surge in cost is affecting the average Californian and the broader US economy. The inflation of California real estate prices is essentially squeezing out the average American from the promise of home ownership. What was once seen as a rite of passage into adulthood and a symbol of financial stability is now becoming a distant dream for many. This has a domino effect, leading to increased rental costs, which further burden the average Californian. The financial stress does not end there. The inability to build wealth through homeownership is creating a widening wealth gap. This is not just a California problem, it's a national issue that needs immediate attention. The soaring costs are causing a demographic shift, with many people moving out of the state. This exodus is not only impacting the local economy, but also changing the social fabric of the state. A diverse mix of people from different backgrounds and income levels is what makes California vibrant and dynamic. Losing this diversity could change the face of California forever. The ripple effects of this real estate inflation extend beyond California, impacting the broader US economy as well. Decreased consumer spending due to high housing costs can slow down economic growth. Moreover, the potential instability in the housing market caused by inflated prices could have far-reaching implications. Remember the housing market crash of 2008? We certainly don't want a repeat of that. The retail market, as reported by CNN in March 2023, is experiencing a shift. As more stores close, opportunities are created for other retailers due to valuable real estate. This may seem like a silver lining, but it's not. The closure of stores and the shift towards discount segments are signs of a struggling economy. Moreover, as reported by Business Insider in June 2023, the rise of real estate influencers making millions only to be indicted for bank fraud adds to the instability and uncertainty in the market. Clearly, the skyrocketing home prices in California are creating ripples far beyond its borders. But who are the real victims of this real estate crisis? The answer is as complex as it is heartbreaking. The soaring prices of California's real estate market have left a trail of unseen victims in their wake. Middle and low-income families, young professionals and retirees, all priced out of the market. These are individuals and families who have spent years, if not decades, dreaming of a place to call home, only to find that dream slipping further and further out of reach. Take, for example, the middle-class families who, despite working tirelessly, find themselves unable to keep up with the skyrocketing costs. They're forced to make tough decisions, like moving to less desirable neighborhoods or even out of the state entirely. And it's not just the middle class. Low-income families are also feeling the pinch, with affordable housing options drying up at an alarming rate. Young professionals, fresh out of college and eager to make their mark on the world, are finding themselves stuck in a cycle of renting, unable to save enough for a down payment on a home. The dream of home ownership, once a rite of passage for young adults, now feels like a distant mirage. And let's not forget the retirees who, after years of hard work and savings, are finding their golden years shadowed by the stress of rising property taxes and living costs. Many are forced to downsize or move away from their communities, breaking decades-long ties and connections. This real estate crisis is not just about numbers and market trends, it's about real people, real lives being upended. And the ripple effects are devastating, contributing to increased homelessness and deepening economic inequality in the state. News articles abound with personal stories and data that underscore the grim reality of this crisis. Like the story of a young professional who, despite a well-paying job, is living out of his car because he can't afford a home. Or the retiree who had to sell her lifelong home because she could no longer afford the property taxes. These are not isolated incidents. They are symptomatic of a broader crisis, a crisis that is turning the dream of home ownership into an unattainable luxury for many. The dream of home ownership in California is becoming an unattainable luxury for many. So, where does this leave us and what does the future hold? As we gaze into the crystal ball of California's housing market, we discern a complex landscape. Expert predictions oscillate between cautious optimism and stark realism, each drawing on an array of factors. News articles such as the one from CNN point towards a retail industry that's adapting to changing consumer trends and demands. This shifts our attention to the underlying dynamics of the real estate market. As businesses close and others open, valuable real estate becomes available. But what does this mean for the housing market? In the midst of this turbulence, various solutions have been proposed. One such solution is the reassessment of zoning laws. The intent here is to open up more land for residential development, thus increasing supply to meet the demand. This, in theory, should alleviate some of the price pressure. The introduction of affordable housing initiatives is another proposed solution. By providing subsidies or incentives for developers to build affordable homes, it's hoped that more citizens will be able to step onto the property ladder. Alternative housing options are also gaining traction. The tiny house movement, for example, offers a more affordable and minimalist approach to homeownership. Co-living spaces, on the other hand, provide a communal living arrangement that can significantly reduce living costs. However, these solutions are not without their challenges. Changing zoning laws can be a slow and difficult process, often facing opposition from those who fear it may alter the character of their communities. Affordable housing initiatives require significant funding and political will. And while alternative housing options may offer a way out for some, they are not a panacea for the problem at large. As we look to the future, it's clear that the issues plaguing the California housing market are deeply complex and interwoven. There's no silver bullet solution. It will take a concerted effort from citizens, policymakers, and industry stakeholders to curtail this crisis. Only time will tell if these measures can bring back the California dream. As we conclude, let's reflect on the gravity of this situation. The soaring costs of California real estate, a topic we've delved into with great detail, is not merely a local issue. It's a ripple effect, impacting not just the Golden State, but the entire US economy. The unseen victims, the average American citizens, are being squeezed out, unable to afford a home in California due to inflated prices. This is not just a matter of numbers or a fluctuating market trend. It's a question of dreams, of aspirations, of people wanting to carve out a little corner of the world for themselves. The inflated real estate prices in California are turning those dreams into impossibilities for many. The future outlook, as we have discussed, is a complex one. The changing landscape of the retail market, as evidenced by the recent closure of Bed Bath & Beyond stores and their replacement by discount segments, is indicative of an economy in flux. The case of Matt Onofrio, a real estate influencer indicted for bank fraud, underscores the potential pitfalls and dangers lurking within the real estate market. So, what can we do? It starts with staying informed. Understand the forces driving up these prices, from changes in the retail sector to the actions of individuals within the market. But knowledge is only the first step. It's equally crucial to get involved in local housing initiatives, to advocate for affordable housing, and to support policies that protect the average homeowner. Remember, when it comes to the housing crisis in California, it's not just about numbers and statistics. It's about real people and their dreams. It's about making sure that the American dream, that quintessential ideal of owning one's own home, remains within reach for all who seek it.